Hi friends, I'm Sevi. I'm a teaching artist with the Living River of Words Youth Art and Science program through Pima County Natural Resources, Parks and Recreation. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Did you get your packets from your local library or community center? If you didn't, that's okay. Today, we're mainly going to be using watercolor pencils and some thick watercolor paper. We're going to take a look inside the kits and go through some techniques and then make a rainbow palette together. Let's get started. Here we have our kits that I picked up from the local library. Inside, you'll find a bunch of really fun materials. I have a watercolor kit here, watercolor pencil kit here inside this bag. A fun sticker. These are test strips to make our rainbow palette. And here are our entry forms, one in Spanish and one in English. The entry form gives you all the information that you need to be able to turn in your art, poetry, or photography work for the Living River of Words Youth Poetry and Art Contest. I really hope that you enter. And inside, there's a paper on poetry, a paper on visual art. That's the one we're going to be focusing on today. There's some reflections on art and science and how they meet, and some suggestions on how to take nature photography. So fun. You'll also find 2 sheets of thick watercolor paper, and we're going to be using one of those sheets today. So go ahead and draw 6 boxes on your sheet. They don't have to be perfect, just 6 boxes. Our first box today, we're going to start with dry pencil. Okay? And go ahead and take your watercolor pencils out of the bag. I have a paper towel next to me and a brush. Brushes should have come in your kits. And I have my cup of water, of course. So we're going to practice some watercolor pencil techniques on these boxes, but we're also going to practice going outside of the box because that is such a good thing to practice. So don't feel confined to these techniques, but these are ideas on how to get started if you wanted some suggestions. I'm going to pick pink first. I'm going to put the rest of my colors over to the side for now. Okay. So for the dry pencil, I'm not going to get the paper wet and I'm not going to get my pencil wet. I'm just going to take dry pencil and color in my box. And I'm coloring in tiny little circles so I get less pencil lines and a lot of pigment. Pigment is another word for color. I'm going to make what's called a gradient, which is where I start to press a little bit lighter as I go down. So it starts from dark pink up here, a little bit lighter pink towards the bottom. I encourage you to follow along with me if that feels good for you, friends. Or you can watch and do this later. All right, so I have my pink gradient with colored pencil. Now I'm going to take my brush and dip it into my water. I'm always going to shake it off a little bit first because I don't want a super wet brush. And if I put too much water on my paper, I might get a hole or it might get soggy. I'm going to go from the corner here and pull this color down. Wow. Right away, I can see that the pencil is rendering from colored pencil into watercolor. It's so nice. And you'll see that I'm already practicing going outside the box. If there's little spots that paint pulls, you can get your brush clean and dry it off a little bit and then pull it down. Watercolor is forgiving like that. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. In our next box, we're going to do wet paper. Okay, so we're gonna clean our brush off, give it a few taps, and then we're gonna get this whole box wet first. Good. Then I'm gonna take my watercolor pencil and I'm gonna do a similar thing to last time, but I'm gonna feel how different it is to color when the paper is already wet. It might not be so obvious in this video, but if you try this at home, you'll get a feel for how this technique is a little bit different and the pigment kind of already pulls from the pencil as you lay it down. Neither one is right or wrong or better than the other. They're just different techniques, and you as the artist get to decide which one you prefer. Afterwards, I'm going to even it out. Sometimes going in little circles like this helps even out some of the pencil lines. And you'll notice on here, the pencil lines are a little more obvious, and also the pigment was a little bit harder to pull down, okay? Just differences. I wanna show you now a fun trick you can do. Let's get our first gradient a little wet again. You can re-wet watercolors, which is one of the really fun things about using them as paints. If I take a paper towel and I do blots where it's already wet, you'll see that the towel pulls up some of the pigment. This is a really fun way to make clouds or other types of texture, okay? So underneath, I'm gonna write, not only was this dry pencil, but then we added blot patterns. So have fun with that. Next, I'm gonna try a technique where I wet my pencil first. And with a wet pencil, I'm gonna practice drawing some shapes. I'm gonna see how it feels to draw with a wet pencil this time, instead of a dry pencil on dry paper or a dry pencil on wet paper. And it sure does feel different. Again, there's no wrong way. These are suggestions of different kinds of techniques. And I'm excited for you to find your favorite or make your own. Wet pencil. In our next box, we are going to try a technique that I'm going to call brush on. This technique is one of my favorites. I'm going to take one of my watercolor pencils, and with a wet brush, not super wet, but fairly wet, I'm going to brush the tip of my watercolor pencil, and the pigment from the pencil is going to transfer to my brush. Now watch what happens when I brush onto the paper. It transfers pigment and I can use it just like paint. This technique is so fun. Okay, Next technique is also a fun one. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, give myself a yellow box to work with. It's faint. And then I'm going to take a color here is my blue pencil. And I'm gonna do splatters. So first I'm gonna get the blue pretty wet, and then I'm gonna go like this with the brush. Wow, I love this technique. And you can even see up here how it interacted with the brown makes a really cool color as well. So splatters can be really fun and cool. And I wanna show you if I get enough liquid on there, I can take a straw. I brought in today my reusable metal straw with a silicone top I use for drinks at home. And I can take a straw and blow and move this shape around. So cool. I get something different every time. That is so fun to play with. A technique you can use is go back and outline this and make new fun shapes and explore. So there's lots of fun stuff to do. And I just want to show you one last thing. When we're working with watercolor, use a clean brush here. When we're working with watercolor, one thing to keep in mind is that watercolor typically likes to go where the paper is already wet. Why is that important to know? I like keeping that in mind when I'm painting and doing art, because if I'm adding detail or if I'm painting two things that are close to each other, this gives me information on thinking about what steps I'm going to do first and what steps I'm going to wait until my paper dries in order to finish. So look, even as I move my paper up and down, the water does not want to go past where I got wet. It doesn't really want to slide off. If I shook it hard enough, and certainly if I took my straw, it would move, right? But generally, watercolor wants to stay confined to where there's water. So we can use this knowledge to help us put detail, right? We can trace where we want our detail to go ahead of time with a wet brush and then let the pigment flow. Or we can wait until something dries, knowing that as soon as I put pigment on a wet area, it'll want to run with the rest of the water, okay? Good things to keep in mind. Excellent job, friends. Oh, let's write our last one, which was splatter. And then this one was our blow technique. Excellent job. I'm so proud. So now we're going to put our papers aside and take out one of our test strips from our kit. I'm going to order my pencils into a rainbow. So I'm going to use my red and then my orange, yellow, green, blue, violets, and I'm going to end with brown. So when I do my rainbow test strip, I'm going to learn a lot about how my colors interact with each other and how I can blend. I'm going to dip my pencil in here just a little bit to encourage the color to flow, and I'm going to go light and then press harder and then lighten up again. Okay, so in this way, I'm making little gradients as I go. I'm going to overlap my orange with the lighter red and then the light orange and then darker orange by itself. And then I'm going to lighten up again. Good. Then time for yellow. I'm going to overlap my yellow with orange a little bit, blending it. And then I'm going to get pure yellow. I'm going to press a little bit harder to get all that pigment. And then I'm going to fade my yellow a bit. Green's next. And I'm going to overlap with my green here. I'm going to go light. And then I'm going to darken my green. And then I'm going to go light on the way out. Now comes the fun part. We have our rainbow palette, and I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to get some of the water off, make sure that it's clean, and I'm going to start on the left side of my rainbow here, and in little circles, I'm going to come and paint over it and explore how that color moves around. I'm going to wash it a little bit in between colors because orange is a little bit lighter than red. But in between here, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing the way that the yellow and the orange look when they blend together. So this is going to help inform me how I can blend with watercolor pencils, just like paints. I'm creating new colors in between the two colors that I use together. Excellent, excellent. And so you can see here, like when the purple and the brown mix, oh, it's a great color. This is more of a teal. And you can use your rainbow palette or any palette that you decide to make as new colors. So this is a unique color that came from blending blue and purple together. This might be a perfect color for a monsoon sky. Okay. Here's a color that came in between the yellow and the green. It's a little bit different than the yellow I had before. So this is how you can go outside and create new colors and check out nature, right? So go out and see what colors you see out there and practice on your palettes. And remember, there's no wrong way. And you as the artist get to choose the way that you like to use your watercolor pencils and figure out what works best for you. I can't wait to see the art that you make. I really hope that you feel encouraged to enter it in with the permission slip to the Living River of Words art contest. All the contestant winners get published in a book and also in an exhibit. The book, this is the last year's book, and oh, it is full of so much beautiful art. There's so many wonderful pictures in here. All of this information is available online at www.pima.gov/riverofwords. Awesome. It's so fun to have your work in a book like this. Thank you all so much for joining me today. We hope to see your artwork and poetry or photography soon. Take care, friends. Bye.